What's up, Internet? It's been a minute, and we're in like this quarantine, and stuff is all terrible. And we've had a little more time to put out some tunes, but I've also just wanted to have more engagement. And so I figured I would start by doing like activities. And so the first thing I could think of was we should do those mariachi react things. Well, it's not going as planned. So in the meantime, I thought I would tell you a story. And it's the story of how Mariachi Entertainment System got to play on stage with Donkey Kong and Battletoads composer David Wise. This is truly one of the landmark um, moments of my playing career. And then with MES, it's one of those things where I helped to organize. I founded it and I helped to organize. I don't want to say that I directed because the players are so good that they do a lot on their own. I don't really do much, but I do to obviously do the video editing and audio engineering and all that stuff. Um, so it was a big moment in terms of all that because MES facilitated that. But the story of how we actually like got on stage with him to play a tune, I thought was kind of interesting. So it all started with, obviously we got the call to go to MagFest. We got the email that said, hey, if you guys want to play. And then we started kind of hashing out the details, flights, and all those logistics, that come with accepting that kind of an offer. And, that was business as usual. And as it started getting closer to MagFest, notoriously, we were sort of behind on our rehearsal schedule. I was adamant that we were going to start practicing in October, and by January we were just going to be nails. You got to understand, with MES, we don't get together to rehearse. We never rehearse, only for big shows, because we all have our own groups that we play in. Doomsday's got her group with her husband, and they play and they get a lot of work. They're working musicians, and it's like that for most of our musicians. And if they're not working musicians to the degree that like Doomsday and her husband are, or like Carlton, violin player, they have definitely have professional lives as either music teachers or directors or something. And so time for MES is limited to recording. That's kind of all we do. Uh, and we like it that way. And when we get together, it's a lot of fun. Well, I had been adamant that we were going to start in October. We were gonna have like intermittent rehearsals. Let's just get together on sectionals once a week, and then by the time January we'll hit it, or December, we'll hit it really hard. Well, that didn't happen, and here we are in November. It's like Thanksgiving, and they're messaging me like, "Hey, Dad, like, what's going on with the set list? Like, do we know what we're playing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you." Of course, me being me, it took a while. And so finally, we're about, oh goodness, like 3 or 4 weeks out from MagFest, maybe three and a half. And I finally got them the set list. And I said, okay, that's it. That's like, uh, we're not changing anything. Like, this is it. Like, we can't, as much as maybe we want to do this or want to do that, there's just not enough time. I blew it. So let's just focus on this. We're not adding any more tunes. And so it's like, okay, cool. We're just gonna work on this. And I was really, really, really freaking out. So anyway, about a week and a half before MagFest, I'm really freaking out because I'm looking at our set list, and there's certain tunes we haven't even gone over at this point. But like, we have to play them. Like, we have to play these tunes. And so I'm really, really nervous. And then I look in my inbox, in my email inbox, and there's this message from the coordinators at MagFest, and of course they're so gracious, and they tagged social media, they carbon copied or blind carbon copied or whatever you want to call it, uh, David Weiss and DJ Cutman, because we're all sort of playing on the same billing, and and they said, if you guys want to get together and figure out a way to collaborate, that would be absolutely fantastic. Here are each other's emails. And I just ignored it. I was just like, I cannot. And I was getting emails from other artists who were going to be at MagFest, like, hey, we'd like to play a set with you. And I'm like, there's no way we're adding more tunes. We let this thing get way too far out of hand, right? And so I just put it out of my mind. And like a week before MagFest, David Wise reaches out directly, right? He sends me an email, and I'm like, ah! I'm like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And so I open it, and again, he's such a nice guy, and he says, "Hey, it's great that you're gonna be there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. This, that, and the other." He says, he says, "By the way, do you happen to be playing anything? Basically, I think he was insinuating anything of his, and we weren't. Of course, we don't. I don't think we even have anything that he wrote." Uh, he says, "By chance, would you be playing?" King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country. And I'm sitting there and I'm staring at the screen and I'm just like, all these thoughts are going through my head. And I instinctively just got on the keyboard and I lied. I said, yeah, actually we are. We're totally playing it. And I hit send. I was like, shit. What am I going to do? 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 And he replies like within minutes, right? And he says, great. What key do you do it in? And can you give me an outline of the song, of like the form that you're going to take? And obviously, if you're a musician, you understand this. But, when you're arranging a tune, you're going to have soloists. You need to have a form that you're going to stick to, verse, chorus, verse, that kind of thing. So we know what's coming up and which chords to go to and that kind of thing. Of course, I'm lying to him, right? I've told him that we're doing this tune and we're totally not, right? And but he wants to know the key, and I know that he's sitting in front of his computer or on his phone right now. So I get on YouTube and I go to the Smash Ultimate version of the song, and I start listening. I get my keyboard and I go, okay, that's D minor, and I hear these screaming trumpet parts, and I'm just like, now I have high chops. Like for a trumpet player, I have pretty high chops. I'm not like a Maynard Ferguson, but definitely higher than average, like way higher than average. And I'm listening to these trumpet parts. I'm just like, oh God, they're way up there. And our whole set is instrumental. It's not like a regular mariachi set where, play some, sing some, play some, sing some. It's not like that. Like it's all on the horn. And so I get out my trumpet real quick and I start going over it. I mean, this is literally like seconds after he sends me this email, and I debate, and I just say, and then what? So then I think, well, you could put it in C minor, a little bit lower, but then the guitars, I don't want them complaining to me about, oh, my hands hurt. I love you guys, by the way. And so I just wanted to give them less to worry about. So I said, screw it. Me and Chewy will take the hits on the trumpet parts and we'll just pray to God, right? And so I messaged him back. I said, we're playing it in D minor, just like on the Smash. But I don't quite have... I said, I'm not in front of my computer right now, which was a lie, another lie. I said, when I get in front of my computer, probably later tonight, I can send you a MIDI file of the arrangement that we have. And then that way you can kind of know the order of things and whatever. And he was super cool. He was just like, yeah, cool. Just get it to me, as soon as you can. Like, again, we're like a week out from MagFest. So then as soon as I get that email, I switch over to my notation program and I just start chomping away. And right at that moment, I'm getting texts from Mesticals that they're asking me, hey, Dave, what, is this a typo in the music? I'm going over the vinyl. What's the bowing? And, all the stuff that I leave out because I'm too lazy. And legitimate questions that they're asking. I'm just like, shut up, leave me alone, And, man, I cranked out that tune, like an arrangement, like a version of that tune, which is barely an arrangement. Really, it's more like an adaptation. It's just like I took the notes and made them fit into like a mariachi instrumentation, and just basically what I wanted was a form and like melodies. And so I took that and I finished it. Oh goodness, that's like a world record for me. I must have finished it in about 2 hours. Just frantically. And then I messaged them again. I said, hey, I'm getting you this MIDI file just to let you know, and thanks again. I'm trying to be gracious. I'm trying to be accommodating, and thank you for reaching out to us and giving us the opportunity. You can't pass it up, So I lied. What else is there to do? So messaged the guys and gals. I messaged the Mescals and I say, guys, I'm really, really sorry, but we have to add one more tune. Even though there's like 5 that we haven't gone over at all, I'm adding another one, and they were real cool. They're just like, yeah, whatever. And I tried to make it, as simple as possible for everyone to memorize, just so it wouldn't be an extra thing. Well, it kind of doesn't end there because we started practicing almost every day, and we were rehearsing, and really, I mean, you could feel the tension mounting. And when we finally pulled out King K. Rool, Gangplank Galleon, days before MagFest, okay, we just need to go through it. Like, let's just read it, the pages, and let's just see what happens, okay. And immediately questions, right? Because I was so hasty to arrange it, the rhythm players are like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what is this? And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. Just do something. And they're like, what? And then the violin players are like, is this all we have? And I'm like, yeah, it's easy to memorize, right? And they're like, this is stupid. And I'm just like, let's just read the tune together, please. And so we read it, and it's going okay. We have to stop a couple of times, make some adjustments because I didn't put things in the right places in the sheet music. And then we get to this, and I have to find that video. Oh, God, I'm going to find it. We get to the trumpet solo section, and me and Chewy are basically sight reading it right there, and it sounds awful, just absolutely awful. And Doomsday has this look on her face, and she's just playing. It's the same 4 chords for them, the whole tune. And she's just, by now, she's memorized it, so she's like kind of looking at us like, what are you guys doing? And I think we usually play at such a high caliber and so well together that she's just like, man, you guys sound terrible, right? And we finished that section, and me and Chewy are kind of like, yeah, we'll get it, don't worry about it, it'll get there, like, don't worry about it. And everybody's kind of like, well, no. So the next night we have another rehearsal, and we get to this tune again, and it's like a little bit better, but still like absolutely awful. And this continued up until probably the night before we flew out. Oh, God, no. Yeah. I think it was the night before we flew out. Like, we were going to leave the next day, and we had a rehearsal. It was like, dude, this is it. Like, the way we're playing it now, this is the way we're going to play it over there. And so we played it, and it was like, the trumpet solos were like, okay, but there's this video of Doomsday just absolutely still, like, disgusted with the way we're playing, and it was just terrible. And anyway. The resolution was that, we flew out, we came, and, just kind of nervous or whatever. And by the time we get to that part where he comes out on stage and we're going to play his tune with him, I think me and Chewy got it pretty decently. For all the other things that we messed up, oddly enough, we messed up a lot of other things in the show. But the trumpet solos, I think we actually did okay. Like, they came out all right. They weren't great. Man, both of us, I think, were dead tired chop-wise just because it's an instrumental show. But anyway, the moral of this story is, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.